Good morning, guys. This is my first official morning political thought. Wow, and when I say morning, literally morning, it's 7:11 out of all times. Right now, I just woke up a few minutes ago and I'm still getting my wits about me, but regardless of when this is uploaded, it was recorded in the morning time in Los Angeles. And yeah, so at 7:11 Pacific Standard Time. And this particular segment is not the Purple Elephant Show per se. This is just a new segment outside of the show. When I woke up this morning, I thought about what started today, and it was the DNC convention. And I was like, do I really want to watch that? I was like, no, because I know what's going to happen. They're going to lie and lie and lie and lie. So, no, just like when Joe Biden, the puppet, and his candidate, who the puppeteer picked, his VP candidate, who the puppeteer picked, went up there, and I tried my best to get through it, and I just couldn't, because every single thing that they were talking about, I'm like, that's not true. There isn't anything accurate there. Then of course they brought up the Charlottesville. Why are we still talking about Charlottesville? If you don't know about Charlottesville by now, I feel sorry for you. I rarely pity people because I think it's an insult to pity people. But if you still believe the Charlottesville thing, I actually pity you. You're sad. Do your research. President Trump condemned white supremacists during that little back and forth with the press. It's on record. He condemned them. Not once, twice. And he made it clear he condemned them. So there wasn't any fine people on both sides where he was talking about white supremacists. And also I mentioned that in the Purple Elephant Show episode, Dear Media, you're the reason why the polls will never be right about Trump. But when it comes to the DNC convention, I looked at their speakers and I have them to my left here. And I'm like, for a party that prides itself on being diverse and having all this inclusion, again, I'm really big on classism. See, another Purple Elephant episode. Episode show what I mean by classism. Classism isn't just about rich or poor. Classism is saying this group of people is better than that group of people. And also, with this is a form of classism where they say, we don't want to hear from these people in the Democratic Party. We will only and always forever hear from these people in the Democratic Party. Have you noticed that if the Democratic Party is so diverse and so big, why is the main candidate on the ticket an old white man? And I don't have an issue with white people, which that's probably going to be another morning political thought for white people, because this whole animosity towards white people and craziness is driving me crazy. I can't, I just can't, but I digress. My thing is, if you're so diverse and you believe in inclusion and stuff, and you're for the cause, why not step aside? Why not say, you know what, I'm not going to accept it? And honestly, I wouldn't have an issue with a white person being on the Democratic ticket if he was qualified. Joe Biden is not qualified. His decision-making skills suck. So that's one of the biggest things. I believe in meritocracy. That's what I believe in. However, when you have a group of people all they preach is identity politics, color, 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 gender, 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 sexuality, 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 then you need to practice what you preach and say, you know what? If that's the case in the Democratic Party, we will not let any white people run, period. We will not let any straight people run. We will not let whatever run, and do that to bring in more people. But especially old white men, you would think that there would be a memo that goes out to say, you know what? We've had plenty of old white men. We're preaching identity. We're talking about race. We're talking about gender. We're talking about sexuality. So no straight old white men are allowed to be on the Democratic ticket, period. But they're not saying that because one of the oldest white men with one of the worst decision-making records in history made it to the top of the Democratic ticket. But you're talking about identity, identity, identity. Again, me personally, I don't care. Meritocracy for me. Whoever's the most qualified, I don't care if you're white, I don't care if you're black, I don't care if you're Asian, I don't care if you're Latin. If you're qualified, swing for the fences. Go for it. But with this convention showing a form of classism, which I'm about to go into with the speakers right now are Barack Obama. That's reasonable. He was the former president, so we'll give him that. But then one of the speakers is Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton. Has anybody missed the news for the past, few months where, and I can't say names, but I'm going to let you, the people who are watching this, I will hope that your critical thinking skills are there where you can figure out what I'm saying. Has anybody watched the news for the past few months where a certain somebody who was a sidekick of a certain somebody that, had an accident, so they say, wink, wink, that individual has been in the news and is currently in federal custody, and the flight logs for sure have been confirmed, and many other things have been confirmed about Bill Clinton, but you plan on putting him on one of the prime time slots of the list? Where are all the Me Too people at? Where did they go all of a sudden? The receipts seem to be there. The receipts seem to have fallen all over the place for the past few months. And on top of that, why Bill Clinton? Bill Clinton has spoke, I don't know how many times. His wife ran for president. He spoke then, if I'm not mistaken. He has spoke before. He's done campaigning before. Why even bring him out? There are plenty of people to choose from within the Democratic Party than Bill Clinton. Like I said, former President Obama, totally cool. And the same thing with Hillary Clinton. I'm mixed on that because she did run for president 2016. So, but really, the Clintons, you put them on the list. If it was up to me personally, I wouldn't have put them on the list. I wouldn't have done it. That's just me. If I was the person making the list, the DNC list, and I'm like, okay, and they submit the names to me, I'm like, should we do this one? Yes, yes. Clintons, no. I just don't get it. Cory Booker is speaking. Why is Cory Booker speaking? Cory Booker can barely speak. Get someone who can move people and doesn't sound like they're chewing something all the time. We have, who else? Bernie Sanders. Why do we need Bernie Sanders? For Bernie Sanders to even get up and speak, that shows you he was never for his people. And by his people, the people who supported him. Because if Bernie Sanders had any integrity, he would have said, you know what? I did my part. You guys screwed me over twice, because we all know Bernie got screwed the first time running against Hillary, and then he got screwed again by Elizabeth Warren, who also is one of the speakers. Maybe she'll talk about her Native American heritage. Who knows? But these people are going to get up there and speak, and I'm just like, why? Why? And the biggest why I ask myself is, why was I ever a Democrat? I know there are some good Democrats. I actually like some of Andrew Yang's ideas. I actually believe Andrew Yang gets some things, not all things. I don't like that he's weak, because he was a little bit strong at first, but then he started to sort of follow the crowd and not go with what he believes. And that's one of my pet peeves. If you can't say what you believe, and if you can't stick to what you believe, I start to lose respect for you. Because I prefer people who are strong and stick to their beliefs and don't start saying what they believe people want to hear. That's not good. But as for what he was originally saying when he first started, talking about automation, talking about AI, and things of that nature, I do agree with that. And he had a strong case for that. There are some good Democrats. I'm not going to say every single Democrat is bad. I'm not going to be hyperbolic like that. It just irritates me that a party that keeps on preaching identity is anything but diverse when you think about it. Yeah, you can say that AOC is going to be up there, and also Michelle Obama, former First Lady. That's cool. But again, diverse isn't just in gender, race, and sexuality. It's also in class. Where are the people who no one really hears from? The Democrats with good ideas that no one has ever heard of. That's what I'm talking about. Why are we pulling out the Clintons? And with Michelle Obama, like I said, I understand, but why are we pulling out her? Why aren't we pulling out more people? Why are we pulling out Bernie Sanders? Because it just doesn't make sense to me. But for me, the biggest reason I don't plan on watching it, and I will get the Cliff Notes, is all they're going to do is lie, lie, lie. It's going to be about hate Trump, hate Trump, hate Trump, hate Trump. You know what? President Trump is perfectly imperfect. He may be a lot of things, and he may have his faults, but when it comes to his campaign promises, he has kept most of his campaign promises, and no one can take that away from him. Regardless of how you may feel about this man, whether you think he has a bad attitude, whether you think he tweets too much, whether you call him a bully, even though he's not a bully. He usually doesn't hit unless somebody hits him first, if you truly follow what he does. He's kept most of his campaign promises. It's not where you campaign on the campaign trail and then you change your promises as you get closer to the election. He didn't do that. What he campaigned on from the beginning, he pretty much stayed with throughout, and that was his agenda throughout his presidency. So that's one of the things I really respect about him. The other thing I really respect about him is that he doesn't let anybody push him around, especially the media. If the media says something sideways, he claps right back at them and calls them out. He doesn't take it. He doesn't say, "Oh well, it's the office of the presidency, and I'll just have to ignore it and take the high road." No, you don't have to just take it while people say all types of crazy stuff, which he's been kind of boring lately. He did say that he could be boring and very presidential, and he's sort of turning into that. Some of the press conferences, I'm like, oh my God, President Trump is so boring. And he said he could be boring. He's doing it. But he's still awesome. I still rock with President Trump. But as for the DNC convention, I'm going to get the Cliff Notes. I'm not watching it. I don't plan on watching it. And that's all I got. This is 15 minutes. I told myself that these morning political thoughts would not be that long. I need to get started with my day. Thank you for watching. All the details are in the details section for the links for the show. You know, I'm on all the social media platforms, even though Facebook has suspended me. It looks like my Facebook, the Purple Elephant Show Facebook page is active, but it isn't. Facebook suspended my account. And it's crazy because I have two accounts almost identical to each other. One is for politics, which is this show, which is the Purple Elephant Show. My other Facebook account, that page doesn't deal with politics. My other show, I ran 2 marketing campaigns on both pages. And as soon as the campaigns were done, my other page that doesn't deal with politics was fine. But then the Purple Elephant Show, that account is now suspended. So I did the uploading of the image and providing my telephone number. So I'll give them a few days. Of course, they say, well, due to what's going on right now, we may or may not be able to review. But what they don't know is that they're going to have 7 days. And after 7 days, my attorneys will be sending them a letter to let them know, hey, you need to speed it on up. And also, my attorneys will let them know that if the account is not restored, American Express will be doing a chargeback for the marketing campaign that I paid for. Because I'm not about to pay for a marketing campaign and then you suspend my account right after you take my money. I will do a chargeback. But that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. Thank you for watching and listening. I appreciate it. I'll have another morning political thought tomorrow. Have an awesome and amazing day. Be blessed.